News, views, voices of the global Indian community. India abroad.
So, as I look back on the year, quite a few accomplishments, but what I would say is that, we we advocated for our members, right? And so, for example, I think one of the accomplishments would be we introduced a bill in Congress, right? So you have the SBA, the Lions Act, Lions, Lions Act, and that talks about asking the SBA to increase the loan limit from 5 million to 10 million, up to 10 million. We also advocated for so many things on the local and state level. Quite often our successes are more private. So there's a lot of things happening in our industry. So it's on state legislators, bills that impact our membership. Those are the ones we sort of defeated, whether it's concerns about short-term rentals or other issues, that's one of the other things. The other thing I'm proud of is, for example, PM Modi came. And if you were there earlier in this session, we were one of the first associations to write a letter to Speaker McCarthy to invite the Prime Minister of India to America for a joint meeting of Congress. And so he was one of the few individuals that have met a joint meeting of Congress twice. Having this, you go back, I think Nelson Mandela came once, Lech Walesa came once, Lafayette, so you're going back 200 years. And so it's a very big honor to be here. But we were able to be there. And we were there for the state visit. We were also there for the joint meeting of Congress. So those two things. Vivek Ramaswamy, I got a chance to interview him, presidential candidate, and what AAHOA is about, what our industry is about, what hospitality is about. That was a great thing. In terms of our association, what we've done is we've revamped our whole back-end membership portal. And so that's been something. Back of the house tours. So what we do is congressmen and also other elected officials, we invite them to come to the hotel and look at the business so they know what it's about. So those are really the main things that we've accomplished this past year. So the main challenges, the main headwinds that our members have, one of them is the cost of capital keeps rising. And so that really hurts our business model. The second is labor force. And so it keeps costing more, right? And I want to make sure I'm clear. We're not afraid of paying an individual for what they're worth, right? Even more. The key comes down to is the workforce itself. Sometimes you can't even find a housekeeper. Forget about how much you're going to pay them. You can't find one. And that's how tight the labor market is. The third one is insurance markets. So these premiums keep going up. And so that's been the critical thing. Yeah, so, that we have our own, for the capital issue, Lions Act, we introduced a bill in Congress, and we're talking to regulators and officials, and we try to inform banks what's going on. On labor force and workforce, we try to have a bill introduced creating new labor categories and changing the quota system. But there's a deadlock in Congress, and so the bill did not get passed. And people that want immigration reform, it's really hard right in America to get comprehensive legal immigration reform. It might be better to take it one bite at a time. But then other people want the security factor and some other factors in, so it's hard to sort of get that done. Insurance, the issue is state by state, because each state is unique. Some states have hurricanes like Florida. Other states like North Dakota, South Dakota, they don't have hurricanes. So how do you figure out what to do? And so that's been the Insurance Commission. So we have an ad hoc committee that addresses that issue. Yeah, so look, it's 1.7% of GDP, almost 2% of GDP. It's available on our website. You can go there, AAHOA.com/Oxford Study. All the impact that we have on America, on their businesses, and the model, it's all there. So post-COVID, what happened is, in post-COVID, the real story is they call it the revenge of tourism. And so as soon as COVID ended, so many people were traveling. And the other thing unique about America is the Caribbean and Mexico did not open up. So people would travel to Florida and other parts of the country. They just want to take a vacation and get away with the family. And so we were able to do that. And so the numbers were tremendous. This past year was not as good as previous years. And that's sort of the key. 2024 right now is not looking as good as 2023, but 2022 was awesome. Yeah, tourism here to stay. It's almost like people consider it a birthright, right? And so people are going to travel. It's just a matter of for how many days and for what the cost is, what they budget for. And so that's really the key. So, it has an effect on the industry in terms of total revenue dollars, but also in terms of how it's determined which areas can have an Airbnb. So not everywhere in the United States is Airbnb readily available. In certain markets it is. And in southern markets it's more regulated than other markets. But it definitely has an impact. I think we did a calculation on the total number of dollars, this is before COVID, that the Airbnb rental gets on average. And it was higher than hotel rates. That's for different reasons. They didn't track exactly how many people staying there. But the key on that is when they're tracking this is you can figure out where the money is. And so it's an uneven, unlevel playing field. And we need to try to keep that level. Right. So look, owner occupied. So if you have to meet the guest, just like we do at the front desk. ADA upgrades, life and safety upgrades. So if you have a pool in the back, you should have a life preserver. If you have 2 stories and a kitchen, you should have a fire extinguisher, right? Which is what we basically do. You gotta have smoke detectors. So basic life and safety things should be addressed. So before COVID, I went to India, and then now after COVID, I went this past December. What an amazing change in India, And if I may quote Modi, the difference is, I think when they were a top 10 economy, top 20 economy, but the moment they moved past the UK, that's when everybody took notice. And so sometimes it is who you're passing before they notice you. So now definitely India's on everybody's radar. It's noticed. Our members should visit India and think about investing in India. Yeah, I mean, we have Indian members now that are building hotels in India and investing. That's the best thing to do. We can ask them to also do the same thing here. So look, if for the larger investments, yes, I think the Indian government can provide some sort of incentive program, incentive plan. But really, it's the cost of doing business in India. There's been a huge pivot away from China. I think investing in India is still a complicated route. There are some regulatory barriers, but whatever they can do to change it. Now they have changed it for like Cisco, the bigger, larger companies, multi-billion, top 500, Fortune 500. But after that, for the smaller businesses, we need to adjust to. And I'm talking about the state of Gujarat or the state of India. I mean, it's going to take time, right? I think there are more hotel rooms in Orlando where we're at than the total number of hotel rooms being under Smith Travel Research. So that says a lot. For 1 billion people, there's not a lot of registered hotel rooms that are licensed and insured. So all that to say, India could do a couple of things. OYO is very popular. Airbnb is popular. What they should do is consider renting a hotel or leasing a hotel, like buying a room on a daily basis there in India. And I think our members see the potential. Yeah, so, being the youngest in AAHOA, right? So we have a new generation. He's second generation hotelier like I am. I started a little bit earlier in life. Our focus and emphasis at AAHOA is, it's teamwork, right? And so our members pick the best candidate at that moment in time. And so that's who the next candidate is. I'm going to be able to pass the torch to him, so I'm happy to do it. Look, our industry is very important to the economy of the United States, and we are 3/4 of all new jobs creators. I think I would stick to that and say, don't forget us. And what can we do as Biden is in the administration, but what he can do now, what he can do later really doesn't matter. Yeah, I would say listen to your membership. Listen to your membership and use that as a guiding principle on how you want to make decisions in the future. Yeah. So the next generation of hotel owners, there's a lot of headwinds. The capital stack, workforce, insurance premiums. So in the older days, you had double-digit returns. That was worth the investment. Now the investment is this high, but the interest rates are not this low, they're kind of here. So then a lot of things can put you in the swamp. Because if Hilton or Marriott wants to, give you a hotel, or a brand, but they build the hotel, it's $20-30 million. It's kind of hard if you don't have that workforce. I mean, it's changed a little bit post-COVID, right? Now, people are used to the computer. You can put in your phone number and get on the EMS, the associate management software. So it's a lot different now. But at the end of the day, most guests want to see a friend and a smile. even if they work just for the front desk, they can't give you a driver here or they can't do this. They still like having that first point of contact. Yeah, I mean, that's a tough question. You know, look, I think this is how I'd say it. Right now, we have the ability. You don't have a robot to clean the beds, and we'd have to get to like uniform space and the uniform size of the mattress to get it done. Even Tesla suffers from some of these things. But what we can do is, in this opportunity for India, you can have people, remote workers in India, check in, check out guests in America as long as you have a good T1 line. And so you can start doing that for some of the guests. And that's how we would start leveraging technology better.